here over at Romanus Fest 6, and I am joined by my good friend Warner Swopes. Brother, oh brother. Bant is running around here somewhere, but we talked with him earlier. We're gonna chat with you for a little bit. We got these killer Romanus Fest shirts this year. Really cool. They got some beautiful poster, same design, and I think we've got the belts on the table. We're lucky enough to get the belts.
Yeah,
huh?
We almost didn't even remember the belts for the show today, so that's pretty commonplace.
Well, my name's Ben. I'm with Let's Play 10 Podcast. My good friend MP, he's not here yet. And we are part of the 45 Creations family, and we are here sponsoring the festival and chatting with all the bands today. So thanks for joining. Let's talk a little bit about Brother Brother. Been around for a while. Like what?
Like 10, 11 years, something like that.
Wild.
Yeah, a long
Wild.
time. Yeah.
And you guys, now you and Banta, talk about how you guys met, because that's a great story.
Well, we were both in different bands.
Right.
Doing different things. Both really crappy bands that... that's probably how we met, is because the local scene of the place we were at kind of was like a place where if you were in like mediocre, kind of crappy-ish, not terrible, but okay bands, they kind of put you on a lot of bills together, even if you didn't really fit the vibe. And so his band played with my band a lot, and I don't know, 3 or 4 different shows, and then so we knew each other kind of through that, and then both bands kind of broke up, and we were just doing nothing really. And I was working at Lowe's at the time, and he came in. He was coaching cross country or something, and so he was buying rope for stretching, and I happened to be the one that came over to cut the rope. And he was like, "Hey, aren't you Warner from this whatever band?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I'm starting something else, and I need a drummer right now. Would you be interested in doing that?" I was like, I'd try it out. We'll see what happens. And then, so I met him, and we had a third guy in the band at the time, and I met up with them, and we just jammed together for a couple hours, and then
rest is history.
Yeah.
So you guys famously, especially locally, are known for putting on these great shows. You tie in wrestling, which you guys are very passionate about. Talk about how that kind of came about. Like when you guys were forming the band, what was it that you're like, we're going to have these monikers, right? Is that essentially what we're doing?
Yeah. So Chris was not real into wrestling. I grew up watching like WWF and WCW and stuff, and really into wrestling. Yeah, these belts.
I got it.
We love to have the belts, but I grew up really watching wrestling a lot. He didn't really watch any wrestling, thought it was dumb when he was growing up. Like, typical like real athlete. He's like, that's fake.
I'm a basketball player.
There's nothing cool about that. But then when he was writing grants for a living, that's a real soul-sucking job.
That's rough.
And so he was watching a lot of like Macho Man promos to get through it, and he just got into the promo aspect of it.
That's awesome.
And so at one point we were just like, I was like, I used to watch wrestling. You like the promo stuff. Let's watch some wrestling sometime together.
Yeah.
And then we got back into it and have been into it ever since. So much so that we've sometimes booked shows around being able to go to wrestling events and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been a good time.
One of my favorite memories, and I've known them for a very long time, and they're dear friends of mine, was at Fountain Square Brewery when we put the rink in the parking lot, and you guys did a whole wrestling match.
Yes.
Then we went inside and played a show.
Yeah.
That was one of the wildest events I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, we actually played a show, and there's a whole kind of almost like a festival in itself. It was like a big Halloween show.
Yeah, that's right. It was Halloween. That's right.
And then we actually wrestled each other in the tables, ladders, and chairs match, and it was crazy.
And like I've always loved, in a respectful way, the absurdity of what the band will do. Like your music videos have always been something too. There's such an art to it, but you guys really do. You can tell you're having fun with monster trucks that you found. Some dude had a monster truck. I assume you paid him to shoot this video with you, and this truck's just chasing you guys.
Right, kind of Scooby-Doo style.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo style.
That's something that we wanted to from the beginning. We never wanted to be like a gimmick band or a joke band or something. But like, there is something to, and this is where the wrestling really comes in, is like the whole wrestling in itself is like, you can have some of the greatest athletes in the world that are wrestlers and doing all kinds of cool things, and their character might be a little bit over the top and kind of goofy, but like you still take them seriously as an athlete.
Right,
and you're like, this is cool. Like Undertaker is this like undead wizard basically, but when he's in the ring, he's like frightening and daunting, and you take him seriously.
Yeah.
And he had like this championship streak that went for years and years and years, undefeated in WrestleManias and all this stuff. And so you take him seriously, but on the surface is like, this is a undead sorcerer. It's kind of goofy. That's what we wanted to bring to like the whole aspect of our show is like, our music is serious and it has a message and it's really intentional, and we don't take ourselves too seriously, but it's not joke music or gimmick music or like even funny music really, but we were like, how do we toe that line of like having the gimmick that's over the top, but then the music still has a message and has a point.
And you guys, like the last album's amazing. It's absolutely my favorite Brother album. I loved everything that you guys put into that. And the showmanship though, and I was talking to the other bands about this too, your guys' stage presence is where it's at. Like the new album's great. The other albums, I always felt like, man, you're just missing that's something. You're not, if you don't go see the show, you don't really understand what you're listening to.
Yeah.
And that is one of my most people's favorite part about you guys, other than just being good humans, is that stage presence. I mean, you are standing on drums, you are jumping all over the stage, so is he. You're getting in the crowd.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not in our 20s anymore, and you guys are just going at it, man.
Yeah.
I love that. And what is the drive there for you? Like, is it like, hey, we've got to give it our all every show, otherwise I don't want to do this at all?
Yeah, we always, we have a saying that from the beginning is 5 or 5,000. If there's 5 people in the crowd or there's 5,000 people in the crowd, you're going to get the same show.
Yeah.
And we definitely have had both ends of that spectrum.
Yeah. For sure.
And that's the crazy part is we had both ends of that spectrum all throughout. Like, we've had big shows in the beginning, and even now when we have, I mean, for the most part, we play a lot of bigger shows, and there's still every once in a while you have a little small show, but they still get the same energy and the same kind of thing going on. It's a passion for us to really put on a show and deliver the whole brother experience everywhere that we go.
And for me, the brother experience, the music's great, the shows are great, but it's you guys as dads, family, and not only like what you guys are as a, in my opinion, you know, just amazing fathers to your kids and to this community, and how you put that in the front. But like, you guys are your own family too, right? Like when you start a band, and I talked to another artist about this earlier, it's sincerely like this family that we don't have. Like we have our loved ones, our parents, but like the band is a whole nother aspect of something that you're like, man, I need this also. I'm missing this piece. And do you feel that way, or do you feel like it's just more of a collective when you're, in a band?
No, it's definitely, at least for us, it's definitely like a dynamic of our relationship, not just the band. We went to the same church for a long time, and when that wasn't going to happen anymore, we're going to go to different places. That was one thing Chris was like, well, he's like, I just don't want our friendship to, lose some of that dynamic. And he was like, so like, what happens if something ever happens to the band? And like, that's the last thing we have. And I'm like, but it's not like that. Like, we really thought about it. And it's like, no, the friendship is the main thing. And then the other things we do together, the watching the wrestling together, or if we go to church together, or play music together, that's all just like icing on the cake.
Yeah. Well, it's a band should be a commitment to each other. Like the music drives it, right? There's that common share, but the commitment to each other is what creates great music.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons Brother has lasted as long as you guys have. So first off, thank you for the music. Thank you for the shows.
Yeah.
I absolutely love you guys, and I'm excited to be here. I know Bram's pumped too. See your guys' live set today.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good time.
6 years, man. 6 years of doing this.
This festival's been going for 6 years. We played every single one.
Yeah.
And I assume we'll play many more to come. I don't think, I think if there's a Romanus Fest, Brother at some
we'll have
version
a 5:30
of it, we'll be
slot.
on it. Yeah, we'll have a 5:30 opening slot on Romanus Fest
absolutely.
For all of eternity.
Absolutely. Well, so for everyone that's watching, maybe those who don't know Brother yet, which if you don't, you should, tell them where they can find the music and support you guys.
You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff, YouTube, all over YouTube. A bunch
music
of videos
are
on
great.
there. Yeah,
great
lots
music
of
videos.
live performances on there. Just all that kind of stuff. You can check it all out all over there, and then just all the social media stuff, Instagram, Facebook.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for
It's good to
having
see
me
you,
on.
brother,
Yeah,
man. It's been
to see
too
you.
long. All right.
Yeah.